The Cleveland Cavaliers have a few areas of need to address this offseason. One of those needs is undoubtedly that of a big wing, one that can not only space the floor, but also defend at a high level as well. You know it, I know it, hell, everybody knows it. And while they aren't in lottery territory per se, they are in solid position to snag a potential difference maker by being slated to select 20th overall. With that being the case, one of the prospects that I feel may be available in that spot is none other than Colorado forward Tristan Da Silva. Offensively speaking, Da Silva may be exactly what the doctor ordered for the Cavaliers due to his positional and offensive versatility. First off, he is more than a reliable source of floor spacing, having drilled 38.6% of his triples at the college level, including a career best 39.5% from beyond the arc during the 2023-24 season on good volume at 4.8 attempts per game. In fact, his 64 triples ranked 13th in the Pac-12 this season. He can knock down shots off handoffs,
as well. Here's Lampkin handing off to Silva.
on pull-ups,
Example of that in the first matchup between you. 20 points, plus 20 points.
and as a catch-and-shoot threat.
Rebounds. Da Silva.
One of the weapons in his growing arsenal is the pump fake, which he has become adept at deploying. Ditto for his use of the jab step. He doesn't need to dominate the ball to be effective as a shot maker either, as he excels as an off-ball shooter. The Colorado product completed nearly 40% of his catch-and-shoot attempts this past season, and for a team that operates with two very ball-dominant guards, such as the Cleveland Cavaliers, this would be a huge asset to be able to work with, as he is easily capable of lining up at either the 3 or 4 without stealing touches away from either Garland or Mitchell, whilst also being a reliable drive and kick option for one of the two. I can envision a world in which he is a viable spot-up threat, the likes of which defenses would have to account for, which hasn't always been the case, believe it or not, for Cavs forwards, which in turn would open up the painted area for the Cavs bigs or drivers. He is a willing shooter coming off of screens, something that we haven't seen from any of the Cavs forwards outside of save Max Strus.
Da Silva, 3.
Da Silva is a pretty solid finisher at the rim, as he boasts an array of moves to get the job done at the basket. He is also a solid cutter, getting open for easy buckets and taking contact in stride. This helped him finish the 2023-24 season ranked within the top 20 in conference for free throw attempts, with an average of 3 free throw attempts per game, where he was pretty darn efficient, knocking down free throws at the Pac-12's 5th highest percentage at 83.5%. He also converted on 61.4% of his looks around the rim over the course of the 2023-24 season, and his 16 dunks ranked 16th in the Pac-12. This is due to his uncanny coordination around the rim, which was without a doubt honed over his 4 collegiate seasons as a Buffalo. The former Buffalo is a killer while off ball, but also comes equipped with decent handle. In Cleveland, he wouldn't necessarily be asked to handle the rock a ton in most lineups, but his ability to do so would be a welcome addition in my opinion. He isn't necessarily a huge threat out in the open court, but he can indeed lead the fast break and can advance the ball in a meaningful and impactful way.
Da Silva down the lane. Da Silva up and in.
One of the things that I find most intriguing about his game is his ability to operate as both the initiator and roll man in pick and roll and pick and pop sets at various moments. That's not necessarily something that any forward on the current roster does particularly well or often at the moment. And while he may lack the explosive athleticism necessary to be a lob finisher at the pro level, he is still a great finisher who should still be able to capitalize off of pinpoint passes from the likes of Garland and Mitchell. Da Silva isn't a known offensive hub, as he ended the 2023-24 campaign averaging just 2.4 assists per game, but don't let the numbers fool you. His basketball IQ is visible, as he routinely made the right reads as a passer and driver and consistently looked to put his guys in good position to score. He is capable of making various passes, and as a result, he can rack up assists. The forward had 10 games this season with at least 4 assists. Also, perhaps most importantly, at 6'9", he has the size that Cleveland desperately needs out on the wings. His presence would help provide balance to a Cleveland team that generally tends to err on the smaller side of things with its lineups, including one of the smallest backcourts in the NBA. On the other end of the court, Da Silva may not be a top-tier athlete, but he figures to have defensive versatility given his blend of size and balance. He may not profile as an ideal on-ball pest moving forward, but he is a tremendous off-ball defender who knows just how to use his length to his advantage. as he is able to rotate as needed and provide high-level help defense. This, in a sense, helps make up for a lack of top-tier athleticism. He was regularly seen hounding his opponents, jumping passing lanes, and contesting perimeter shots at the collegiate level. He managed only 19 total blocks this season, but his wingspan allowed him to reject shots from both inside and outside of the key. It didn't matter if his opponent was a forward or center, he was there with a timely stop either way.
Keep your friendships. Into the post, Carlson, Dak the overplay.
And in addition to that, Da Silva's 39 total steals also ranked 15th in conference. He is a threat to not only pick opponents apart in the passing lanes, but he will swipe it away at times as well. The big forward is a capable screen navigator and should be a great team defender at the NBA level.
He's missed 23 consecutive threes. He's pivoting.
Da Silva's deficiencies are pretty easy to notice, and a few of them are tied to one of his biggest overall weaknesses, that being the fact that he doesn't display high-level athleticism like many of his potential draft day peers. That could definitely be cause for concern at times at the NBA level. He isn't exactly a world beater on the glass despite his 6'9" size, but again, this is no doubt tied to his lack of athleticism. He would likely need to be paired with a solid rebounder at the 5 if deployed at the 4. And while he does have a certain level of handle and can initiate the pick and roll, his handle still needs some work. He is a little too turnover prone at times, and as such, he committed 202 total turnovers compared to 197 assists over the duration of his 4-year college career. He isn't the prettiest dribbler out there, and that might be something opposing defenses aim to target when he has the ball in his hands. He will also be entering the NBA as an older prospect after a lengthy college career. Da Silva will be age 23 when the draft takes place. Overall, I believe Da Silva could be a very good addition to a Cavs team that is looking for a player of his build and will most certainly be searching for a ready-made contributor off the bench or in spot starts in year 1. He has great shooting touch from both deep range and mid-range, which makes him a unique player in my eyes. He is a high-level team defender who seems to be a quintessential glue guy who can play either the 3 or 4 at the NBA level. I would be ecstatic to have him in Cleveland. Time will tell where he ends up. Go Cavs.